Okay, here we go with the watch this video for Thursday, October 26th. I am showing you the SPY here that sold off a bit, came down and hit the 20-day. That doesn't look like a huge sell-off, but actually, if you look at it compared to the recent candles, pretty good range, right? And when you look at it on 5-minute candles, that's a pretty good sell-off today, relatively speaking, compared to how it's been. We still managed to root out some really nice plays. I'll show you. I didn't put Dryships on the results page because I didn't make an official, hey guys, here's a trigger, here's a stop. When it looked like this, when it had popped up and then was flagging, I said, hey, over 445 breaks that recent high and kind of gives you blue skies. That's what I said. So I didn't say, hey, 446 with a 436 stop, but it was still pointed out in chat, and we got that huge move. Dryships goes back on watch, by the way, for tomorrow, but a pretty good sell-off right there at the end. But that is a nice move from that 446 area all the way to 559. That's a really nice percentage move. We're going to keep watching it probably for the next week or so. But that was that little flag break right there was certainly profitable for some people in chat. INPX. I'm starting to watch those here. This one had this pop here and then tried to break out over this high right here and didn't. Flagged for a couple days, came back, kind of retested that 20-day. And if I show you intraday, see, it got fairly nice volume in there. Let me switch to 15s to kind of look at a longer term chart. That actually looks a little bit head and shoulders-ish. So if it rolls back over, I'm not that interested in this one, but I mean, if it can get up over the half on volume, we might retest that 60 cent. And the chart's still intact. You had a high, you had a little bit of a higher high, certainly great support below at the 20-day. 2-day pullback on really low volume. It's starting to turn back up. So over 50, it's kind of interesting to me. VISI, you had this big pop on, let's see, today's Wednesday, so this would have been on Tuesday, and you had kind of a quiet inside day today, so I like it over 350. It might retest these highs. We'll watch that one. SRAX, this one's just very choppy all of a sudden, but still want to watch it. Not in love with it, but still want to watch it because it does make big moves at times. NEOT, nice bounce today. Looking for a follow-through on that bounce. There it is. You can see it. These are 15-minute candles. The last 30 minutes had a nice little pop. And there's not a lot of resistance to the left. And this one, remember, over 60 million shares just a little over a week ago. That took it from 83 cents to basically $2. So this one might just get going. Shorts might cover kind of quickly now that this held the 8-day and started to turn back up. We'll see. It goes back on watch for tomorrow. NEOT, let's see. I already talked about Dryships. XCO, just a nice breakout today. We'll see if we can get a follow-through in that one tomorrow. Red to green, something like that. AMCX, had this on bounce watch. I didn't take a trade in it today, but it did have nice support right in this area, and it held support. Decent volume today. Got an interesting kind of late afternoon volume spike there, and it held up after that spike. I pointed this spike out in chat. Said it could be an entry somewhere around here. And it did grind a little bit higher. But I like the fact that it held support. So this one might be up from here. That's my Walking Dead stock. So I'm interested in it if for no other reason, right? SNES, huge pop here, inside day. And then you've got kind of a 2-day high right at the whole number 3. So that one's pretty interesting over 3 tomorrow. ROKA, geez, had a big pop today. But it's still got a lot of stuff. A lot of, supply up above. So I'm not in love with this one. But if you look at it, let's go to like 5-minute candle. So it popped straight out of the gate and then grinded lower and ended up closing kind of strong. There it is on 15s and 60s. I don't know. This one, it made a huge move back here. So I think it's worth watching, but I'm not in love with it. And then lastly, nope, that's not right. ADHD, not at the end yet here. Just another lower high. It is finding support back, where this sometimes old resistance becomes support. So this area right around $1.40 was resistance, gapped up, and now it's tested that a few times, but you got a few bottoming tails. So this one might be ready to turn back up. Couple more. ROKU. This one, recent IPO, had a huge move on opening day, then a gap up, nice secondary bounce, and now it's kind of rolling over, but it's getting that downside shape. So I think it's, I don't know, oversold in the short term and worth watching for potential bounce tomorrow. Not in love with it. And then RGSE, also not in love with this one, but it's had some really nice news lately. And now it's finally broken the 8-day, and it's kind of, we call the area between the blue line and the red line, which is the 8-day and the 20-day, both exponential. We call this area a potential buy zone. All right, and so you've got what, 1, 2, like basically 5 days down into that buy zone. You hold number 2 there, might also act as support. I hate the way this thing's been trading lately, but I still want to watch it. All right, that's it. We'll add some gappers in the morning as well. I'll leave it at that. Have a great night. We'll see everybody tomorrow.